Hey guys, Pie Guy Rules here, and welcome back to the topic of discussion. I apologize that this is so late, but as you can see, I moved. I'm in a different dorm room. The window's on the other side now. But I have a good topic that I think will make up for this very delayed episode. Today's topic of discussion is cartoons. Wow, that's very vague. More specifically, cartoon cameos in Cartoon Network's cartoons. You get all that? I have to thank the Chris146 for giving the idea to do this. Basically, he sent me a private message saying that in the newest episode of the newest incarnation of Ben 10, Cow and Chicken from Cartoon Network's Cow and Chicken were in the episode in a brief cameo. And sure enough, I went, and they are aliens. They're slightly stylized to look like aliens, but otherwise they look exactly like they did in the Cow and Chicken show, and they have the same voice actors and stuff and everything, and it's like a second cameo, but it's cool, you know, a little bit out of left field, but hey, it's cool cameo. It's very cool when shows do that, and Cartoon Network does it a lot. Nickelodeon does it a little bit too, but we'll talk about that some other time. Okay, so let's start with Foster's, because Foster's has quite a few. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, made by Craig McCracken, who also made the Powerpuff Girls, and as such, the Powerpuff Girls appear in almost every episode, if not every episode. Well, they actually appear in every episode that Frankie appears in because they are on her shirt. Underneath her green shirt thing, her green jacket, is the Powerpuff Girls, the three girls. They're color-coded, and it's like their outlines, but it's clearly them, and like I said, Craig McCracken created both shows, so, you know, it's very easy to get a cameo like that in. And it's cool that, you know, she has a stylized shirt of what's either a cartoon, of what I do believe is actually a cartoon in their universe. Because in the first episode, the big pilot, Mojo Jojo appears as an imaginary friend for a second, because kids are sometimes unoriginal and just copy what they see on TV. A rather bizarre one in Foster's, from the episode where the, what is it? It's the violent imaginary friends thought up by angry teenagers, like they're having some sort of battling something, I don't remember specifics. But I do remember Ed, Edd and Eddy were there at the junkyard for like 2 seconds. Like the camera pans, they're there, and the camera pans away. And it's like, okay, I guess Ed, Edd and Eddy hang out in the junkyard sometime. And I mean, it also looks a bit weird because they're stylized to look like Foster's characters. But it's clearly Ed, Edd and Eddy, very clearly. Why is that cameo there? I don't know. But it looks cool, right? Okay, so let's see, what else? A rather bizarre one, in Kids Next Door, there's one episode where there's like a huge stadium crowd, and one of the kids in the crowd is dressed like Ash from Pokemon. I don't know why. I don't know. But that's there. Ooh, let's see here. Dexter, from Dexter's Laboratory, once showed up in Time Squad. He showed up, I think, either once or twice, but I remember one specific incident where they confused Larry and Tud... Yeah, Tud Russell? Something like that. They confused Dexter for their Otto, their main character, who's a genius, or who's really smart. Yeah. It was just a quick gag. So Dexter's also been in the Powerpuff Girls in a cameo a few times. I don't remember actually specifics on that one, but I do remember one instance where Major Glory, who was from one of the segments from Dexter's Lab, showed up as like part of a major plot point in one episode. So that was cool. Thanks Wiley 1080 for showing me this one, because he totally watches Problem Solvers. Please spread that around. That's a lie. Please don't spread that around. But no, he showed me that there's a clip on YouTube where the Problem Solvers, that god-awful show, they're doing something in the woods, and they come across Mordecai and Rigby from the regular show. They're actual animals, like just animals in the woods, but again, pretty clear it's them. And I mean, I guess at least that one fits because they're in the woods, so it makes sense. But I mean, here's a hint: you might not want to allude to shows that are much better than yours when you're making a cartoon. So yeah, that's about all I have. There is a rather actually, in Billy and Mandy, they like to use a lot of Hanna-Barbera characters. Like Scooby-Doo once testified against Mandy in Keeper of the Reaper. There was even a whole episode where they defrost a caveman who is Fred Flintstone, but very derpy Fred Flintstone. And there's a few more examples. And then there's a really big one in the Kids Next Door Billy and Mandy crossover, where, like, you know, throughout the episode, because it's a crossover, you can see very, you know, briefly, like in the background, some characters from a bunch of other Cartoon Network shows. But we'll talk about that later, because I feel like that crossover is definitely something that should either be reviewed or topic of discussion. So yeah, next time there's a topic of discussion, we'll probably talk about Nickelodeon variations on this whole phenomena. I think these cameos are really cool. Let me know in the comments what your response is to these. Let me know if you know of any more cameos. I'm sure there's more out there. I'm sure I did not cover them all. These are just ones that really stood out in my mind. So yeah, let me know. I do, while I do say it's almost always cool, or, you know, most times it's cool to have these cameos, sometimes, there's a way to do it where it's in place, like, you know, the one where Mojo Jojo, you know, showed up on Foster's as an imaginary friend. Like, that's kind of, you know, that makes sense. And then there's the one that don't make sense, but, I mean, come on, the cow and chicken one, even though it didn't make that much sense, you know, it was still cool, especially because they got the voice actors and everything. And with that, some housekeeping. Let's see, Finn the Human review, that's up. And the Jake the Dog review, both of those are up. Go check both of those out. Yeah, I think Jake the Dog. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good review, and I don't often say that. And yeah, all right. So Pie Guy rules. Hey guys, don't forget to subscribe if you liked me, like this video if you, well, like this video, and comment if you have an opinion on anything that I just said. Oh, and I also have a Twitter. Follow me at PieGuyRules. I usually respond to any comments or questions that I get. Pie Guy Rules, out.